Good afternoon, Coach.
Good afternoon, Greg.
Congratulations on your 9th Upper Midwest Athletic Conference Championship in your 11 years here. You guys won it last Saturday against Minnesota Morris in a game of 1 versus 2. Tell us a little bit about those games, if you will. Presentation on Friday here at the Erickson Center, followed up by Minnesota Morris.
Sure. Presentation. Good game on Friday. We were down 2 at half. Had a strong second half defensively. Did a good job, and I thought that was the difference there. Morris was kind of the opposite. Had a really strong first half. Up 23 at halftime, and then held on in the second half. I think to win by 16 or whatever the final margin was. So, again, defended well. Took care of the ball, moved the basketball, had a lot of assists both games. Again, our shot selection has just been very good. Over this stretch of games that we've won in a row. So we've kind of just kept the same formula, and it's been good to us.
You've won 10 in a row this year, and I've seen some similarities from this year to last year. You won 10 in a row this year, you won 15 in a row last year. UMAC champs both years. What's different about these 2 years, or maybe is this year more special than last year?
Well, they're all special, and again, we feel very blessed, very humbled, by what we've been able to accomplish. A lot of parity in the UMAC this year. A lot of close competitive games. So we feel great to be where we're at. This year, they're all special. I feel like maybe we've had to, we work hard every year, but this year we've, really had to work hard. We lost 3 great seniors last year. 2 first team all-conference players, a second team all-conference player, and then Robbie Anderstrom, who had a great year last year for us. Has been out all year. These guys have done a great job. Working hard and putting us in the position we're in. Last
year, you played with 4 freshmen who got great experience. One conference championship. You went on and won the NCCA national championship as well. Now those freshmen are sophomores, and 2 of them are in your top 3 scorers. Mm-hmm. How much of a difference does that matter in terms of leadership, experience, skill, just court presence, things like that?
Yeah, last year, obviously they had a great experience, in more reserve roles, on a national championship team. So that was invaluable, and they have done a great job. The 2 guys have stepped into starting roles, and Wade and Tom have done a great job, and Ellis and Lance, have stepped into some key reserve roles, and also, done a super job there. So, and a lot of it starts at the top too. We have good modeling, mentoring that goes on in our program, and our 3 seniors, Brian Leckler, Nate Thompson, Josh Williams, have done a great job leading, and Aaron Reep, Gabe Jefferson, our 2 captains, our juniors, along with Ethan Benton, also have done a great job. So it's been a complete team effort this year.
I'm sure it's kind of a relief to have won the conference championship with 2 games left in the regular season, but headed into this weekend, you play Bethany Lutheran on Friday night in Mankato, followed by Martin Luther on Saturday in New Ulm. How will you approach those games, given that you have won the conference championship and you have secured that #1 seed for the conference tournament next week?
Our approach is going to stay the same, and we've kind of preached all year that every game's important. Whether it's the first game of the year or the last game of the year, we want to have a similar approach, and we're going to take that into this weekend. 2 very good teams in Bethany and Martin Luther. Both have been very, very good at home in the conference. So it's going to be tough on the road, but be a good test for our guys, and hopefully we'll keep the momentum going. Play well, and take that momentum into next week in the conference tournament.
Having played those 2 teams real quick here in the Erickson Center already once, will your approach to them change individually? I know you collected wins over both of them. Bethany, I know no win is easy, but they were both, the margin of victory was high. So how would you compare that to your approach for this weekend?
We definitely have watched a lot of the film from those games and film since they've played since then. I think our approach will be similar. Bethany really is an athletic team, very good rebounding team, very explosive. Both teams are very explosive offensively. So we're going to need to really take care of the basketball and really defend. If we're going to be successful, and rebound. against both teams, but especially Bethany. Very, very good rebounding team.
Excellent. Well, we'll look forward to those games, and especially next Wednesday's game, 7:30 here at the Erickson Center for that first round game in the conference tournament.
Hopefully, I have a big turnout. That'd be great.
Excellent. Well, we'll see you then.